Hi, Dondi.
The
So I don't know what I was gonna say. I guess I'll start by saying that I was thinking about how we were talking in class, um, about like the thought experiment of what if you were doing these things but didn't know what computers were, what computers did, and so we're discovering it as you went, um, which I feel like I can't even really like comprehend what that would be like. Like I just it's such a weird idea because I've grown up with computers and I can't. Yeah, I feel like I would be almost like superstitious about it. Like I would be like, this is too knowledgeable.
yeah, I mean, I feel kind of the same way. And I mean, just like reading through the Turing article, it's kind of interesting that he basically got right like the fundamentals of like how computers work, like kind of eerily well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, I think the thing that no one could have predicted is like how people actually use them and what they've become for like actual people's lives. Like,
Yeah,
he didn't predict, like digital cameras and like the internet and all this stuff. But
yeah. It was interesting to see how much he understood the fundamentals of how it works. Um, I was thinking about that too because I can't. I feel like I don't know enough about computers to even approach this question fully. But like, I'm wondering if there is another way that exists that a computational system could work, but because we've had like the Turing background, that's what we use, or if it's like the only thing that can work because it's like a I don't know, like a logical thing. Um,
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
think I don't know, it's kind of about like is what Turing writes about like is that fundamentally what computing is, or is that just like one version of it?
Right.
And I mean, I'm probably just not smart enough to think of like what the other version would be if like such a thing is possible. But yeah, I mean, even in the through all the kind of funny in retrospect, very like 20th century language that he's using in that article, it's like the underlying concepts of like what he calls like the what were like the three parts of the computer. He says like the store and
Oh
like
yeah. Uh, Gosh, I don't remember, but
but like that's like maybe I'm uneducated on this, but it seems like that's pretty much how like a modern PC works, like more or less. And then
yeah, and I think you've said that, Dondi, in class too. That essentially, like, exactly what we're doing now with computers is what Turing predicted, but just a little bit more, or like using those systems to do other things, but the systems themselves are the same, which I think is interesting.
yeah, um, and I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to see like what Alan Turing thought like the systems would be used for. Like if he had any vision of like, oh, 50 years after I'm dead, what are
Mm-hmm.
computers going to be doing? Did he expect like modern like mass communication or like something like the internet, or did he just assume it'd be used for like code cracking and like
Mm-hmm.
scientific applications? Or
That kind of reminds me of how, like, even today, especially in the media, I think we see people trying to, like, guess where we'll take technology and, like, Black Mirror and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are trying to make, like, logical inferences about the technology that we have right now and the ways that it could be used in the future and the ways that people would want it to be used. Like, I was just watching the Netflix show Maniac in one of my classes, and it takes place in like at the near future. And there's not a ton of technological differences except that they have like robots that do very basic tasks like pick up like dog poop on the street and stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of an interesting way of approaching it because that's something that someone probably sat down and thought like, oh, if I could make a robot that's pretty easy to program, what would I make it do? And something like that. I think it's probably hard to predict what I don't know if it's that hard. It's hard for me to predict what would come next in technological advancements. I'm sure there are people who have a pretty good idea because they're working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like as much a question of like what the new technology is capable of as much as it is like what people want out of it. Like, because something like, I don't know, like Twitter, for example, like from a programming perspective, like it's just basically people posting text visible to each other. Like it's not that impressive technologically, but it's like a huge deal on the way it's, and it still wouldn't be possible without like modern computing and networks and all that. So I mean, I guess it's a combination of those things, and then like, oh, did you see that video the other day of like, I guess there's this grocery store chain in Maryland that has these like robots now. They're like these like black obelisks that like ominously rove around.
Yes, I saw something like that. Where it's like they scan inventory, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they're for.
Yeah. Weird. Maryland of all places.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess on a different topic, I will say that I really enjoyed playing everyone's games in class. I thought it was really fun. Hayden, I thought yours was really cool. Like, the confidence levels thing was really, really cool. I don't know. I'm glad we did the game assignment. I think it was a good way to kind of, not force us, but to learn Python in more of a practical sense instead of just, like, learning it in class or in a Khan Academy kind of environment.
Yeah.
And I thought it allowed for a lot of creativity, so that was fun.
That's true. And I think it was cool to see like where everyone went with it. Like each person had kind of a different take on what they would do, and I mean it's kind of cool how much range you can get out of just like the little text editor.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
on the side of it.
I think it's also cool because I feel like almost everyone I talked to had ideas for how they would improve their game if they like had more time to work on it or had a little more skill. Because like Riley and I felt good about our game, but we wished like if we were to not redo it, but if we were to keep working on it, we would add more like character choice so that you could be like, oh, you can do this easier dish and it'll be easier to get a like good score, but you can't ever get a great score, or you can try a harder, riskier dish or something like that. Just to add more like agency to the player, but we just didn't have time to do that. And like John was saying, he wished he could have done more with his like Secret Hitler thing.
And I wish I could have made mine so that it doesn't break after the first round, but time constraints.
Yeah, definitely. But that was a cool assignment, and I really enjoyed. I enjoy the aspect of our class where we get to like share our work with each other.
Yeah. And
like when we did the Faces and Places one too, I really enjoyed just seeing what people did because everyone got so creative with it. I think that's a cool way that we can learn from one another in the class in addition to learning from you, so I like the structure of that.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. What are your thoughts on like questions for like what we're going to do next? Or
Dondi knows, I've been saying in my videos for weeks that I want to do, like, more theoretical things with AI. So I think that will definitely be cool. And, like, the philosophical ideas of, like, I don't know, how much can a machine know and how close to get, like, what is a machine fundamentally lacking that makes it so that it can never be human, and can we ever get that? I think those are cool ideas. But I also am excited to work in CodePen, just because I feel like I like understood what we were doing, but it didn't like click for me, so I feel like doing some practical work in it will be cool, so then I'll have a knowledge of different languages. I did like JavaScript in the beginning more than Python, so I think I'll enjoy CodePen.
Yeah, I mean, just like going on the CodePen website, like a couple of times when we were talking about it a few weeks ago, like some of the stuff that people have on there that they've just like written in there, it's really
it's
like
so
impressive,
cool.
which I think is. And I don't know, I'm just like curious about like graphics in general and how all that works, because like the little like console text is all well and good, but
Yeah,
I want
yeah. I don't quite.
colors and stuff.
I still don't quite get what the like how exactly they interact. So I want to play with that too.
Yeah.
Any other questions or thoughts?
I don't think so.
I think we're good. Bye, Dondi.